Hello, this is Scott Lukes from Echo Summit Property Management. In today's topic, we're going to discuss the sheriff's eviction. So, you just regained legal possession of your property from the courts. You went to go check the property out, but there was stuff still in the property. The tenants were still there. So your next step, of course, is to schedule with the sheriff for them to oversee a sheriff's eviction. You'll do this either by yourself, calling sheriff, or through your attorney. The sheriff, when they schedule with you, will set a date and a time, and they'll also tell you how many people they want you to bring along to remove the possessions from the house. They'll ask you some basic questions like how big is the house, how much material is still there, etc. And they'll tell you, show up this date, this time, and this many people. If you don't show up with that many people, the sheriff has the right, and typically will, say, sorry, you didn't bring the right amount of people, we're going to reschedule this for another time. So don't take that lightly. So the sheriff will knock on the door. Somebody will be home or not home, doesn't matter at this point, because we've got now the law helping us to regain possession of the property. The sheriff will enter the property, look around, make sure the coast is clear. Then you and your crew will be able to go into the property and remove possessions. At this point in time, the sheriff will tell you where they want the material removed from inside the house to outside. Typically it's off-premise on the sidewalk. So you and your crew will remove the possessions, you'll put them on the sidewalk, and at that point in time, they really are public domain. Now there's no law saying that you or your the people who are doing the removal can't take the stuff from the curb. We get this question a lot. Frankly, at Echo Summit, this is a dismissible offense. We think there's a huge conflict of interest being the one who evicts somebody and then also takes their stuff. So use your better judgment on that. That's another thing we have to keep in mind also when we're doing an eviction. What are we throwing to the curb? There are some things that we absolutely do not throw to the curb, some of which the sheriff will guide you on, some of which they won't. Some of the things that are obvious, we're not putting firearms, weapons, guns, knives to the curb. We're not putting medications, prescription medications, drugs, things like that to the curb. Things that the sheriff might not be thinking about that you really need to stay on your game is, for instance, personal computers. Why personal computers? Well, the hard drive might have personal data on them where when you put it to the curb, you, as the landlord, might be held liable for this person's personal information, credit card accounts, passwords, etc., getting into the public. In that situation, we recommend taking that computer back to your office, holding it for a while, making some repeated attempts to get back a hold of the previous tenant to give the possession back. Then maybe after the fourth or fifth attempt over a couple of month period, ask your attorney, have we acted in good faith with integrity? They'll say yes or no, and if they say yes, feel free to discard it. And by discarding it, what you're doing is we're taking the hard drive and we're taking it to a professional hard drive destruction place. Typically these are those data recovery centers. And of course we can add that destruction fee to the tenant's bill, which of course we'll get in collections, right? We'll cover that in another topic coming up. I hope this was informational. For more information on this topic as well as others, please visit us online at echo-summit.com/education.